Despite the huge size of the meteor, its appearance in the Russian skies was quite a surprise. It entered the Earth's atmosphere completely unnoticed by anyone. RT's Irina Galushka explains why.
You may wonder why the scientists haven't seen this thing coming. After all, it was quite a doozy. It was really large, as a matter of fact. But at the same time, the scientists are saying that there's way too many things flying out there in outer space. And although this one was a big one, they can't really keep track of everything that's coming. But seriously, this thing weighed more than 10,000 tons when it was approaching Earth, or so the scientists say. Of course, when it entered the atmosphere at mind-blowing speed of 30 kilometers per second, that's really, really fast. When it entered the atmosphere, it broke into several pieces, and those went scattering all over the region. This is the region that we're actually concerned with, but it actually went all around the place. We're only going with what the scientists and the emergency ministries are saying, and they're saying that this icy pit, this is a crater where one of the fragments has fallen. Of course, we have to understand that this actually has been the biggest thing to hit this planet in over a century or so. The scientists believe. The last time something like this happened was in 1908 when the Tunguska meteor crash-landed somewhere in Siberia, destroying thousands of square kilometers of forest, causing acid rains to fall, causing mutations in plants and forests. But it's also one of the biggest mysteries in the universe, because nobody has ever found a crater from the Tunguska meteor. No fragments of the meteor have been found. So this is kind of a big mystery that a lot of people are trying to cash in on this, even today, 100 years later. But back to reality, back to present-day Chelyabinsk region. Of course, there has been plenty of damage. You've seen the pictures of the damaged plants and buildings, but actually, a lot of people are saying it could have been a lot worse if history is any indication.
There are telescopes and networks operated by NASA in the US and Roscosmos in Russia and the European Space Agency and others that are out there trying to detect and track asteroids. But honestly, there's a lot of them. There's hundreds of thousands. And their biggest focus is on the really large ones that are hundreds of meters in diameter or kilometers in diameter that could potentially, do to us what happened to the dinosaurs.
And another thing, Chelyabinsk region is actually something of a nuclear hotspot in Russia. In fact, during the Soviet era, this was the place for nuclear research. So it has at least 7 nuclear facilities that are located in the region. And a lot of people are saying that if at least one of them was hit with one of the fragments from an asteroid, we would have been dealing with complications infinitely worse than we're having on our hands right now. We would be dealing with a nuclear disaster. But thankfully, that did not happen. And although this entire event was rather frightening and quite damaging, still things could have been a lot worse. And it's a good thing that everything turned out the way it did.